In this demo, I'm going to show how ThousandEyes can help troubleshoot the employee digital experience. First, let's frame the problem. We have an employee named Hans. He's working from home because of COVID, and he calls IT support because Workday.com is slow for him. Of course, IT starts asking him a list of troubleshooting questions, but unfortunately, Hans is not technical, so he doesn't know how to answer any of them. But even if he was technical, sometimes these answers are difficult to provide. From an IT support perspective, this is actually a really difficult problem to troubleshoot because IT has no control over Hans's home network. Hans is using the internet for connectivity, which we know is a best effort network, which again, IT doesn't control. And Hans is connecting to Workday.com, which is an application that lives inside someone else's data center. Since IT has no control over the home, network, or data center, IT must have excellent visibility into each of these domains to troubleshoot problems. This is where ThousandEyes can help. ThousandEyes gives IT visibility into the home, network, and data center as if it were their own organization to help them troubleshoot problems quicker. Now let's start the demo. Now, one of the first things that we can check when we log into the ThousandEyes dashboard is the experience score. Basically, the experience score is an indication of health, and considering that we have an experience score of 90%, this is a good indication that most things are working pretty well in our environment. Now, if most things are working well in the environment, let's now drill down to Hans since he's the one who called in with the problem. And to do that, we can add filters. Now, in this demo, Hans is represented by this Acme hero. And then we can also add a filter for domain, in this case, Workday.com. Now we can see Hans's experience score accessing Workday.com is 79%. And since this experience score is lower than the benchmark of the organizational score, this is an indication that Hans is having a problem. Also, we can look at these historical graphs here, and we can see that Hans's experience score started trending downwards sometime around 8:30. So we could potentially hypothesize that Hans's issues started at the beginning of his workday. Now, since Hans was complaining about Workday.com being slow, we can check the page load times. And the graph is going to tell us that it's taking 15, 14 seconds for Workday.com to load. So it's understandable that Hans is getting frustrated because that's a long time for any web page to load. So now that we've verified that Hans has a problem with Workday, let's start looking at visibility to start troubleshooting the problems. Firstly, by clicking on this link, we can get visibility into Hans's home network. We can see that Hans's computer is connected to his home router via a wired Ethernet connection. Now, this is really valuable information because it's telling us that we don't have to worry about any potential Wi-Fi issues. Also, we see that Hans is connected to a VPN before accessing Workday.com. Now that we've seen inside Hans's home network, let's get some visibility inside the internet and the cloud so we can continue troubleshooting the problem. Now, if we click on this network link here, it's going to show us a path visualization of every single hop along the path between Hans's computer and Workday.com. It's effectively a visual trace route. Now, I don't see any problems on this network diagram here, but if I zoom in on the hops between the home router and the VPN gateway, we can see there's a link highlighted in red, which is an indication of high latency. Now, if I check the historical graphs for latency, we can see that Hans has consistent high latency ever since 8:30 in the morning. So again, probably issues started at the beginning of his workday. Now, if I hover over this link here, I can see that traffic is going from SJC, San Jose, all the way to Ashburn. Now, this is interesting because why is traffic going across the country? And now if I hover over this link here, Ashburn, and now it's Ashburn to London. So now we're going across the Atlantic to London. And if I hover over the VPN gateway, we can see that the VPN gateway is located in the United Kingdom. Also, if I zoom in on Workday.com, I can see that we're accessing Workday.com from an AWS data center located in Amsterdam. So now that we have all this data, we can use it to provide Hans with a data-driven recommendation to solve his problem. And we can tell Hans that we see that he's connected to a VPN gateway located in the United Kingdom, and then he's accessing Workday.com located in Amsterdam. We believe that Workday.com is really slow because he's traveling a really far distance from California all the way to Amsterdam, and we see high latency along the path. To solve the problem, we recommend that he disconnect from his VPN gateway in the UK and connect to a VPN gateway located in California so that he starts accessing Workday.com from a US data center. By keeping the traffic closer to home, Han should see an increase in performance. Now, that data-driven recommendation is a much better recommendation than the normal trial and error troubleshooting that we normally do. And that's only possible because of the visibility that ThousandEyes provides. So let's summarize. We use ThousandEyes to confirm that Hans had a problem by looking at the experience scores and historical graphs. Then we use ThousandEyes to get visibility into his home network, the internet, and the cloud. And then finally, we took all that data to provide Hans with a data-driven recommendation to solve the problem. For more information about ThousandEyes, please check the ThousandEyes website or contact your local Cisco account team. Thank you.